when you invited me to come to this festival, I got very, very excited because there are not many festivals I would want to go to. I love Hong Kong. I've been to Hong Kong quite a few times, and it seems to me that what's happening in Hong Kong is really, really exciting. When I was there 2 or 3 years ago, it was full of young people, part of the umbrella movement, demonstrating. And there was a sense of immense excitement of people taking control or trying to take control, trying to get their voices heard, and a whole movement where anything was possible. And I think theatre can contribute towards that debate about the society that you're going to live in the future, that is going to be more representative, that is going to allow people to question things and allow people to put their views forward. Theatre can do that very effectively, and I believe in the power of theatre. So I hope this festival will help people find a voice and find a way of using that voice effectively in the future. And if you can do that by arranging this festival, you will have done a great service for democracy worldwide. I've chosen a subject which is really important to me, and I've tried to be totally unbiased about that subject. The choice of the subject is the political bit. And then the way I do it is try and put both sides of the argument so that an audience will actually engage in the argument and debate it. Even with the Trump play, I was trying all the way through that to put the point of view of the nominees he had for his cabinet, to make that as fair as possible, to make their statements of what they wanted to do and why they wanted to do it. I thought it was wrong, but I didn't want to editorialise. But I obviously allowed both points of view, the negative and the positive. But my choice in putting it on stage, this questioning process and this cross-examination, had made the political statement. Now it was a question of people hearing both sides of the argument and seeing which they thought was the better side. And making the decision themselves. And that's exciting when a whole audience moves in one direction or moves in another direction or suddenly understands something that they didn't quite understand before and sees it more clearly. When I'm doing verbatim plays, all the plays I have done on the whole have been verbatim. Do you have that word in?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a question of moulding those to use the most important arguments and to try and tell the story as clearly as possible. Whereas Pinter or any other play is constructed completely on dramatic principles, and the character, to a great extent, everyone's character is the drama. Whereas the facts are the drama in the work I'm doing with the verbatim. It's finding the facts and juxtaposing them or using them emotionally at certain moments or whatever, and trying to find a narrative in the same way. Pinter used to come and see all the work I did at the Tricycle. He would always be there because it fascinated him, but it was totally unlike his work. But he liked the detail, and that was interested him. You know?
So in verbatim play, the characterization is not the priority?
No, it's trying to get the essence of the spirit of what someone's saying. So, for instance, in an Arms to a Rock play I did, there was a character called William Waldegrave, who was a minister at the time, and he turned a blind eye to these export licenses for arms to go to Iraq. And I hadn't actually seen him give evidence. And the actor who was playing it, we rehearsed it and re-rehearsed it, and we went into the meaning of what he was saying. And in the end, it became very evident that he was behaving like Pontius Pilate did of the trial of Jesus Christ, you know. And the actor was doing this as he talked. And a journalist who came to see it said, how were you there on the day that William Waldegrave was giving evidence? And I said, no. And he said, well, he did that. He washed his hands of the evidence as he was talking. He did exactly what your actor is doing. And the actor had arrived at it by understanding the process of what the person was doing, which is completely different from an actor choosing a dramatic pause or a violent gesture because it's dramatic and it works for their character, for them. This is different. This comes out of the thought process, which then motivates the hand gesture. Slightly different.
Yeah.
Do you know? Does that make sense?
It makes sense
definitely.
because we are still at the moment in Hong Kong very bound by the dramatic, like the dramaturgy of like the usual
Yeah.
training that we had in, like, for example, APA is still very about the dramatic structure, the conflict, and then we have a hero or protagonist. But when we structure documentary theatre, it's very different. But still, people stick to that idea of having a character on stage, and it turns out become like quite. Some of the pieces that we saw is very like difficult to follow because they want to create a character, but like what you said, without finding the true, like not true, but like a structure that highlight the conflict of the facts, but not the character. They're more like a persona on stage, and I think it would be nice if you can talk about that as well. Yeah.
Well, always the words always come first. The words are the most important thing to me, and we don't alter the words in any way. In that we don't even change the order of them. I worked with a journalist. I mean, I've worked with journalists always, so that, in a way, and it's sometimes I put the plays together myself. But mainly I collaborate either with a journalist or someone who's very good at a narrative. And we make it work.